Well, welcome back to Fan to Flame Dates. As you can see, we're in the bedroom, and that means on this date we're going to be talking a little bit about physical intimacy. So we'll be right back. Just give us a couple of minutes to get ready, and we'll see you soon. Have you ever wondered why God created sex? There's a couple answers for us there. The first reason why is He wanted us to produce unity. The sexual relationship, the physical relationship, is the only love language that can be spoken between a husband and a wife. It's exclusive. I can't speak it to anybody else, just Karen. So it builds unity. It's a glue that keeps us together. It was designed for pleasure, and it was designed for procreation, the creating of children. Although I like to have fun with that. I mean, God could have chosen other ways to do that. We could have cut off fingers and put it in a flower pot, and kids could have propped up, but He chose to do what He did for a reason. And then the last reason I think God created sex was because He knew how we were going to be wired, and He put it in the context of marriage to protect us from sexual sin and the temptations that, again, we face within our culture all the times. Well, let's look at a couple priorities, Karen, and what we do. How can we improve this area of our life, and why are we talking about it? The first reason is because God has given it to us as a very special gift, and we need to make every effort to be a good steward of this gift that God has given us.
You know, I never thought about the good steward part of a physical relationship. When I think of a good steward, I think of management, so that means managing your time, so that I'm going to manage my time in the sense I'm not going to fill up my schedule so full that I give you the leftovers. It's easy for people who are impulsive and who are sanguines, who enjoy people, to fill their schedules up and to feel that all those things are really important and that your family will understand. But let's look at being a good steward of that and actually thinking. And we were talking about spiritual intimacy and the thing of planning it. I think that comes into play as well. When you have a budget and you want to be a good steward, you have to plan for how you're going to spend your money. When you want to be a good steward of your physical relationship, you have to plan on how you're going to have the time and have the emotional energy and effort, and what things stimulate you or get you in the mood, so to speak. What things bring you together in a way that is pleasing to each other.
So you're saying it's okay to plan for physical intimacy for,
Yes, it's something to look forward to. You know, the guys look forward to it, the girls can look forward to it, and it makes you feel special. If you are saying, let's have a special date night, and we're going to do this and this, but let's not do too much because we want to go to bed early.
Save
and
some energy,
have a little fun.
Some time, sure. Well, and spontaneous and sex is very difficult in the world in which we live. We're all busy, especially if you have kids running around schedules. And as you said, you're tired. At the end of the day, it's kind of leftovers, or it's a perfunctory goodnight kiss. But, if you put it on the calendar and plan for it, it does create a sense of anticipation. Helps us prepare for ourselves mentally, physically, spiritually for that as well, and clears distractions.
Well, how do you feel about spontaneous sex? Wouldn't you love that too?
Yeah, I
know, you're all over
Let's
it.
go back to the male brain.
Anyway,
That's right. Anytime, any place. Right?
Okay.
We turn to...
Yes. Me, not so much.
No. So we talked about planning for it.
Right.
And I think one of the things we want to do too, and I know that you and I have had this conversation before, the second thing is we want to make our bedroom a special place. And it's a room that we like to be into. We don't want to argue in that room, fight in that room.
Pay bills in that room.
Yeah, never pay bills in that room.
Or have technology in that room. It's important that Bruce isn't sitting in bed with his computer, or I'm not sitting in bed with my phone reading a book, but we're
So it doesn't have to be
concentrating on each
technology. It
other.
could be a book too, right?
Right.
We want to make it technology free, you were saying, free from distractions. Don't let it be associated with anything negative in our lives. Make it the favorite room in your house. When we first did our bedroom, Karen did it with kind of a floral wallpaper thing, and I was feeling a little emasculated, So when we redecorated it, we finally put the blue color in there, and it has a little bit more of a nautical theme, which is comfortable for both of us.
Right.
We both like that. So it can be the favorite room in our house. And then, going back to when we had the two boys running around, Karen was very uncomfortable trying to be amorous. If she could hear the boys' footsteps or talking, if they were awake, she wanted to make sure they were asleep. So be sure, if you have kids, put a good lock on the door and teach them to respect your privacy. When the door is closed in mommy and daddy's room, unless it's broken, burning, or bleeding, don't knock on the door. Don't bother us. So that's a good thing for us to remember as well.
Or take advantage of times when they're away.
Mm-hmm. Let's talk about why it's important to talk about this. I mean, it's a subject that sometimes couples don't like to go to. We think we're being selfish or whatever.
But it's important to talk about the frequency or whether we're meeting each other's needs in the area of our physical intimacy. And each of our needs are different, and we experience it differently. And just like in spiritual intimacy, where you have the emotional level and the cognitive level, we have different ways that we're fulfilled.
Well, what can we do what isn't being done that could be done, and just having those frank conversations in terms of what you need and what I need, and it's not just about you or not just about me, but it's about us together.
And we're not guessing. I'm not trying to guess, is this what he wants, or is this what he needs? Is this what he enjoys? We communicate, and we don't have to guess, or we take the guessing out of that.
Some people think talking about it is a little uncomfortable. Now we're going to talk about praying about it.
Praying about it together. I know that there's times
I remember you telling me that I need to pray more about it.
Pray that I would have the desire, without being too tired, to show you how much I love you, because I do love you with all my heart. But sometimes I'm just so tired, and I don't want that. We just have to pray that the Lord will
move that mountain,
right? Yeah. And I don't want you to feel rejected because I'm tired. I want to make love to you to show you how much I love you.
God's given us this gift as a gift of love. It's something He wants us to enjoy. He wants us to celebrate that, and we need to be praying for one another, and praying together about this can also deepen our spiritual intimacy, deepen our emotional intimacy, which, plays right into improving our physical intimacy. We were talking about the fact that praying together can be a good aphrodisiac,
That's true. And also, if I can be perfectly frank, there's times that I may be too tired or too stressed or not have my mind totally wrapped around that I just have to pray, Lord, please help me. I need to meet his needs. I want to meet his needs. Give me the desire. Help me to do this. There's nothing wrong with that.
Now, we need to also, you're speaking frankly.
I'm being pretty frank here.
Girl, I appreciate
pretty vulnerable
that,
here,
There might be reasons why couples struggle in this area. I mean, it could be sexual past, if you've come into your marriage and you didn't wait for your spouse, and there's other things that have come into play, or something happened when you were a child. Those come in, and you need to seek professional help to deal with some of those things. But
absolutely.
There's also, the past attitudes. You were taught something about men in your sphere of influence. We were taught things about women in our spheres of influence as men, and we have to unlearn those things and reprogram them in light of what the Word of God teaches. Women aren't sexual objects that are to be taken and conquered. They're, partners. They're our wives that we make love to, not have sex with. There's a difference there.
But I love your illustration where you talk about, as Christians, everybody's told us that you can't make love or have sex before you get married. And then
on your wedding day, you're supposed to figure out how to have marvelous sex. Yeah,
right.
It's been
and then
dirty,
it's okay
guilty,
now. It's been dirty, guilty, and if you do this, you're going to sin. Now it's a part of our married life and a wonderful part of it.
Which again is the reason we go back and pray a little bit more about it. But some of us might have medical issues. I mean, again, we watch TV, we see Cialis, Viagra things. Now they have the medication for women to help in this area. So obviously there's medical reasons why couples might struggle for this. And if that's the case, we need to go see our doctors and work that out. But probably one of the biggest reasons why couples struggle with this is lack of other intimacies. You alluded to it all the time. You're not feeling loved or cared for or affirmed. I mean, this might be my primary love language. I like to lead with physical touch, but you like the time together, you like connection, you like emotion, and all that needs to come into play for you to respond appropriately. As we get older, there's body image issues. People make love in the dark for a
Yeah.
reason. So we don't turn on the lights. But yet at the same time, you want to make it fun and fulfilling. It's God's idea, and God says, I've come that you might have an abundant life, Jesus said, and have it more abundantly. And it's a gift that God wants us to have. So it's God's will for us to enjoy this. God's will is always good and acceptable and perfect, Paul says, the word says. So it's all the more reason why we should enjoy the specialness of the gift that God has given us. In that
And
regard.
the two shall become one.
We know that a lot of couples struggle in this area. So we've developed a weekend retreat that we call Back to Naked. And we talk about physical, spiritual, and emotional intimacy and how they play together and how we can strengthen them in our marriages. And if you'd like to join us in one of these retreats, go on out to fantheflamedates.com and click on our live events link to find out more information. Hey, let's encourage you right now to take some time and do two of the things that we just talked about, to talk about this area together as a couple and to pray about it. So the need and he knows and those questions are going to come up. Hit your pause button, take some time, work through them, and then pray and ask the Lord to give you the ability to do some of the things that you've talked about. And we'll look forward to seeing you next time on Fan to Flame Dates.